I wonder what's the next stage for my elegant, slender body.
And just like that, diabetes.
Dude, put that thing away. They're like children here.
The things I do for love on this site would scare you people. So, I'm Not Starfire is a comic book for young adults that has been circling the internet for a while now for all the wrong reasons. And a lot of people took one look at the cover of this book and said this is gonna be absolute dog shit. And normally I make some type of wisecrack saying something along the lines of, the book is good if you're looking for toilet paper, but that would be an insult to toilet paper. And since I'm not one to make a joke in bad taste, I'm just gonna tell you my own personal thoughts about this abomination of a comic and why it motherfucking sucks. And I already know somebody's gonna come into the comment section saying, well, you didn't read the book, it was great. Well, guess what? I did in fact read the entirety of this shit. And even better, I've got the receipts to back me up. I told you the things I do for love would scare you people. Never let it be known that I'm a liar. That said, let's dive headfirst into this heap of dung, shall we? Let's start off by talking about the cover. So when you look at this cover, you see Starfire, obviously, and her daughter, Mistfire. Should have been a miscarriage, but I digress. But just by looking at this, if you wasn't told that that was Starfire's daughter, wouldn't she look like Raven's daughter? Seriously, she looks like she could be more related to Raven than she is Starfire. But since the book is called I'm Not Starfire, she is Starfire's daughter and is the complete opposite of Starfire in every way. Starfire is perky, attractive, and polite, whereas her daughter, Mandy, I believe, is this rude, emo, fat cow of a bitch. Oh, and she has no powers either. At least not yet. Now at this point I would normally say spoiler alert, but who the fuck cares? And before I go into this book too harshly, let me just say that there were a few things that I could see what they were going for. Like, for example, the book opens up with Trashfire over here basically explaining that she gets compared to her mom. People are constantly hounding her because she has a famous hot mom. People wanting her to show off some powers that she doesn't have. And people just being overall dicks. Like, I get the fact that she's in high school, kids are gonna be needlessly cruel, and shit like that. I can also understand her not wanting to be harassed about her mom. And one of the things that Dumpster Fire said that I really do agree with is that college is a scam, which is true. Most people that have degrees can't do anything with them and are just working regular jobs. Now, I didn't agree with how she said it, being all bitchy and shit, but I did understand her not wanting to go to college and put up with debt and all that other shit. That being said, you should still do the best you can with your current education, meaning that if you are not going to drop out of high school, you should still do your best in high school even if you're not going into college. Like, one time she just walks out of a test, like literally just gets up from doing a test and marches her ass out of the classroom. And her justification for it is, well, I'm not going to college, so I don't need to take the test. But the thing is, she's not dropping out of high school though, so again, she should still try to do the best she can while she's in the school system. And get this right, her idea after high school is, I'm just gonna go and move over to France, because why not? Now, I understand that she's a stupid teen, but still. Back when I was in high school, I knew that if I ever moved over to another country, it isn't gonna be as simple as, well, this is my new home now. Hell, even just visiting another country, you have to do an extensive amount of research on your part, because something that's okay to do over here in the US may not be okay in other places around the world. Also, you'll want to know how to function in that country as opposed to how things are over here. Like, it's gonna be a complete 180 change. But shit fire do as shit fire do, so let's continue. The relationship between Starfire and Tarfire makes it seem like the two are very distant, even though that's not really the case. Like, Starfire tries her damnedest to be a good mom to this walking abortion, but her daughter is super unappreciative, she's always rude, she's always locking herself up in her room, and she tries to come across as this, my mom just doesn't understand me type of bitch. But she's the one making things this way. Like, I can understand kids going through a bit of a rebellious phase through their teenage years, especially when it comes to their parents. But if you have a really kind and understanding parent like Starfire is in this book, then it shouldn't be a complete shutoff like it is in this book. But the book wants to make it so that there's this big divide between these two because Java the God over here is jealous of Starfire. And you'll see exactly what I mean once we reach the end. One thing that you'll notice is that aside from the Teen Titans and that one random dude that Starfire takes home with her one time, everybody in this book is made to look or be an asshole or gay. And sometimes both if you're the main character. That's right, folks, on top of all the other good qualities that this character has, she's also gay! And she has a crush on like one of the more popular students, who apparently had a crush on her as well, but decided to take a photo of herself in all the Titans and then post that photo on social media, even though the Chub Slug doesn't like that. And yes, this bitch is always eating, which I wouldn't mind if she was picking up a salad or something, but she's always eating something like cookies or other junk food, and they are always drawing her in the most unappealing way possible. Like, you know those fat people that you can tell don't shower too often? That's who she reminds me of. Like, I can practically smell the body odor emanating from out of the page. Oh, you never learn who her father is either. It's speculated that it's Nightwing, but Nightwing is in the comic, and he doesn't treat her like a daughter or anything, unless he is her biological father, and he's just too ashamed to admit the fact that this monstrosity could ever be his daughter, which I wouldn't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't claim her either. But anyway, things kind of come to a head between her and Starfire when Starfire gets a call from the school informing her that her fat fuck of a daughter skipped out on her test. This causes Chunky Chew to run away from home and go and live with her friend, because teen angst combined with shit writing equals a great story, apparently. Starfire manages to track down her daughter, but guess who also manages to track down her fat ass? Blackfire. Now, this is where the story gets a little confusing to me, because Blackfire's excuse for being there, in her own words, is that while Starfire has renounced the throne to live on Earth, because she has an offspring, that offspring has a claim to the throne, and therefore Blackfire must first kill Starfire's daughter to make sure that nobody can make a claim to the throne other than Blackfire herself. But when Starfire is retelling what happened to Tamaran to her daughter, she makes it seem like Blackfire's already been ruling Tamaran with an iron fist. So why is she acting like she just had to come down to Earth and kill Starfire's daughter? Don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for Blackfire here. I'm just wondering about the logic behind Blackfire's motives. Now maybe I missed something, maybe I got something wrong, I don't know, I don't care to go back and reread something. Guys, I only put myself through this hell one time, and once was way more than enough. So feel free to correct me in the comments if you can, but that's how I understood it. But anyway, Blackfire takes them both prisoner so that she can later on fight/kill Starfire's daughter for the claim to the throne that she's already been ruling behind. And you would think that she would take them both to Tamaran for this, but instead she goes over to Fuckfire's school and takes them over to the football field. For what reason, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm the one missing something here, but I just don't care at this point. So they're at the football field, and Piggly Wiggly is over here dressed up in Tamaranian armor in order to fight Blackfire, only for Starfire to break free of her restraints and fight Blackfire herself, something she probably should have done in the first place, but I digress. Anyway, Starfire tells her daughter to run, and she does just that, and you still have people in the stands making fun of her and shit. And I'm just like, why the fuck are you guys not running for your lives? I can understand her one friend and her crush staying there because they care about her, but everybody else should be getting the hell out of the way to make sure that they're not collateral damage. And that's not me trying to come to the defense of the character or anything, cause you know, fuck her. But I'm just saying, where is the logic? But anyhow, Starfire loses the fight, and everybody is still in the stands like this is just a regular day at school, like, oh well, we'll just wait to be killed. Anyway, the Hot Topic reject goes over to her mom's side, and straight up tells Blackfire, why don't you just fuck off and die? And yes, they do use the word fuck in this book. They use it like 3 or 4 times if I'm not mistaken. So Blackfire throws an axe at the head of Starfire's daughter, and I'm just like, why didn't you just straight up kill her? I mean, that was your whole purpose for coming to Earth in the first place, wasn't it? And you had a clear opportunity to do it right there. But no, she does the classic ha ha ha, I'm evil and I like to gloat thing. Though she does throw the chunky child across the football field, so you would think that that would probably kill her. I was hoping it would, but no, she's still alive. Oh, and get this, right? Her powers just so happen to manifest at this moment. Not only that, but she's going toe to toe with Blackfire, and she beats her in combat, in which she was trained in, but Starfire's fat fuck of a daughter was not. Granted, she does get back up and Starfire does do the finishing blow, but still, what the fuck? So now she's like way different than what she was before. She's happier now, she isn't as standoffish as she used to be, and it's all because she got powers. So basically the moral of the story is, you can be an obnoxious, self-pitying, rude, temperamental bitch, but powers will make things better. Like, that's literally the lesson of the story. Not to become your own person, not to accept who you are despite the circumstances, but that having powers solves everything. And that's basically the book. She basically goes from being a complete loser to being a powered up loser. I've dealt with a lot of unlikable characters throughout fiction, and Starfire's little bullshit ass daughter is definitely trying to compete. I know that this book isn't canon to what goes on in the mainstream DC continuity, but this is the industry now. They do not give a fuck about quality. Like, ask yourself this, who is this book made for? because it's not made for fans of the comics. It's not even really made for young adults, even though they say that it is. Like, nobody that knows how the industry is now is gonna pick this book up and say, might be a fun read. The only purpose this book serves is that the person behind it can sell their own fan fiction. Seriously, somebody try to tell me that's not self-insert. You know what's funny is that in an alternate Earth, Starfire and Nightwing actually do have a daughter named Mary Grayson who goes by the moniker of Nightstar. And if they had made a young adult book centered around that character and had it focused on her becoming her own person as opposed to trying to live up to the expectations that have been placed upon her due to her being the daughter of two of the most famous superheroes on the planet, then I feel like he could have had a nice little book for young adults instead of this self-serving garbage right here. If I were to give this book a rating from 1 to 10, it would get a -12, and even then I'm being more than generous.
Am I not merciful?
But let me know what you guys think. Did you guys love I'm Not Starfire? Will it help comics beat manga in sales? Or is it just the modern day industry being the modern day industry? As always, support your emperor by leaving a like and hitting subscribe. Also support me on these social media platforms. You wouldn't want to commit treason now, would you?